Good morning, y'all. Fuzzy Biker. We are in Dunning, California, I think. There's the Hot Rod Himalayan right there. It's a beautiful morning. I've had my walker ready, but you don't want to hear about that. There is the Hot Rod. It's got just about 52,000 miles on it. I'm just about to do some maintenance on it, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. The big question I get is durability. How is the bike holding up? Every day somebody wants to know how it's holding up. Well, I made a video on the 50,000 miles of it, and so I'll tell you a little bit today about it. The Overall, so there's two things we're going to talk about. One is the day-to-day maintenance that it needs, like right now. Like I want to show you the chain right there. I have to adjust that right now. That chain is just about shot, and I've got about 3,000 miles before I get home, so I got to make it last that long. I do carry an extra link. I can stop and get a chain if I need to. The I there's options, right? And the next thing would be tires. The tires have got, I think they're 26,000 miles on them, maybe. I put them on at 26 or 27,000. I've got 52,000 on them now, whatever that maths out to. So the rear tire, this is about as wore out as I've ever seen a Dunlop Trail Max Mission. That's what these are. Check that out. And it's still off the limiters. The rear tire is performing perfectly. Haven't had any trouble with that at all. The front tire performs perfectly, but it's noisier and it doesn't ride as well. When I'm going at slow speeds, I can feel a thunk, 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 thunk. Some of the features that I build into the tire to keep it quieter and to keep it so it rides better, smoother, have wore off. I literally wore the nubs off the tire. I just wore the pieces off of it, and it's still off the wear limiters, so it's still good. Another wear item would be brakes. We changed the rear brake pads a while back, I think before Alaska, and that was about 26,000 miles ago, so they might be due again. We'll check that when we get back. Other things like oil change. We change the oil every time on time or ahead of time. We've also done valve checks. We've only had to do one valve adjustment ever, so the bike in that sense is doing great. As far as holding up goes, what do I think is going to break? The bike has 52,000 on it. By the end of about 120 miles, it'll have 52,000 miles on it. What do I think? What am I worried about? The basic things are things like fork seals. That's no big deal. If they go, I can still ride it, right? The things like a fuel injector, that would be an issue. I got a list here somewhere. The water pump, if that went out, that would be a big issue. Things like hoses and stuff like that, of course. Now, I haven't had any issues with that at all. Not even leaking, nothing. Just everything is working dandy. The suspension components, everything on that is a-okay. Nothing there has gone to heck at all. I'm looking at my list here real quick. I have got the bike was tested by Royal Enfield. When I went to India, the factory, they told me these are tested to go 100,000 kilometers, which is 62,000 miles. So I don't expect any of the big things to go wrong before then. Maintenance done, and yeah, we've talked about that. What should break first? Fork seals, the battery. It's got the stock battery in it. We've talked about the clutch cable, the clutch itself, stator. The stator is part of the charging system. The neck bearings, the gooseneck bearings. Somebody asked about these the other day up in here. We haven't done anything to those. I check it periodically, and it all seems to work fine. Swing arm bearings and rear suspension, things like that. So talking about things like the clutch cable and the battery and stuff like that, Baxter and I had a long talk about that. Baxter Cycle and our conclusion was we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it until 62,000 miles. At that point, we will, we'll see what happens. The battery doesn't show any signs of weakness. The clutch cable, if you look at it, seems physically fine. So I don't see any reason to muck with that at this point. We talked about things like, do we head off the stator? Do we change the stator ahead of time? Well, no, we're not. And the reason again is the bike should be able to go 62,000 miles without trouble. And we don't want to crack the motor for any reason. We want to keep that's part of the test, right? We want to keep that as solid as can be, keep the integrity of that container. We don't want to do anything. We want to be able to say we've done this, all on factory, so I think we're doing good there. I think we're doing good. Major things that could go wrong, if we lost the timing chain, that would be catastrophic. We'd be testing our warranty out at that point. Oil pump, something like that. Could pop the cam. Well, what are the chances of that happening? Well, I've done it before. Not in a Royal Enfield, it was a Yamaha, but I had a Yamaha. Anyway, so it happens. Things like that happen. So as far as day-to-day operations go, and I talked about that: tires, brakes, chain. Like that chain needs adjusted right now. Keeping track of things that are loose and need tightened. Which so far the only thing I've ever had come loose. This is loose right now for some reason, and I'll tighten that right now. The bolts are there, and then this thing here is loose, and that rattles a little bit. But we've got, like I said, we've got rubber bushings for that ordered already. And again, as far as long term goes, everything just seems to be working dandy. It's just been a great bike. I'd like to make a video. I get asked a lot about how how do I feel about the bike? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. How do I cope with the long rides? I had a question on there just this morning. I was looking at that. How do I how does the bike do on these long rides? Things like that. And I think I'll try to make a video about that. I also want to make a video just about the tires. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. I'm out here in California. Our goal today is to cross the Golden Gate Bridge. So Hot Rod Himalayan, Golden Gate Bridge. The thing's been everywhere. It's been the Arctic Circle. It's been all the way to Florida, to Southern California. It's been up, up to Maine, and everywhere in between. Literally everywhere in between. Today, hopefully, we will add the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, if y'all are interested in a motorcycle like this, a new used Royal Enfield Triumph classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, anything at all like that. Coats, jackets, helmets, gloves, socks and underwear. Get yourself over to the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa to Baxter Cycle there, or go to baxtercycle.com. Tell them California Fuzzy sent you. It's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day here. I've got a wonderful motorcycle. I'm going to go out and ride. Get off the couch, get out of that easy chair, get out there and live life, my friends. Wahoo!